Okay, so let's get into it. Now, I'm going to use this image and this image, as I said earlier. So I'll start working with this. So with this, let me go into my layers and make sure that my layer is selected. Right. I go for my quick selection tool or any of the selection tools. I can go here to select and then subject. Right. Okay. Right. So now I have my subject selected. Right. Selection. Okay. So let me add this section to it. Okay. So I have my selection. Right. So I'll make a duplicate of it. That's Control J to get my duplicate. So I have this right here. So with the background, I don't need the image, this image in the background. So what I'll do is with this, I'll select this and then sample a color, right, from the background. I'll use the eyedropper to sample a color from the background. Then I select my background, that is my layer, right? And I use my Alt and backspace to apply the color to it. Right. Okay. So can review this one here. Okay. So the next is I go for this image. Then I bring it in here. It's beneath the layer. So let me bring it up of that layer. Select the two and reduce them a little bit. Okay. Right. So with this image, I'll reduce either the fill or the opacity, right, to check my positioning very well. Okay. Right. So it's okay for me. So I'll bring my fill back to 100%. And next now do is I'll load a selection of this image. I'll load a selection of this, right? So I make it black and white. Okay, I'll make it black and white. So I right click on the layer icon and then select pixels, right? So after loading my selection, I have to select this image. So I click here to select it. Then I create a layer mask for that. So I have this in here. Right. Okay. So let me reduce the brightness of this image a little bit. So I go to my image, adjustment, and curves. So I bring the brightness down a little bit. All right. So I'm still going to work on this image right here. Okay. So okay. Let me duplicate this layer and work with this one here. So with this, I'll go for my brush tool. And then make sure I select the layer mask. Okay. Let me change my brush. So with this, what I'm going to do is I have to, I want to review this part of the image that is hiding. Right? Okay. So with that, I have to use the white. So I swap my white as my foreground. Right? Then start to paint to do that. Right. And for this part, this part, um, that, okay. Let me delete this one for now. So I have only one here that I'm working with. Okay. So for this part, I have to hide this also because the edge is too sharp. And with that, I have to use the black. So I'll go for the black to hide it. So to get the blend very well, I have to reduce the opacity, right? As I brush. Right. So once you do this, right, you have this as your double exposure effect. Now for the background, right? The background, I like to change the color. And I'll use the eyedropper to pick a color from here. Right? I'll pick a color from here. Then with my background selected, I use my Alt and then backspace to apply the color. So I see it blends very well with this image. Right? Then with this also, I can add some adjustment to it. Right? That will make it look cool. So with this one, I'll use color balance. The shortcut is Control B, or you go to your image adjustments, right? Then color balance, right? So you have to adjust the sliders, right? Right. I think this okay for me, right? Or I can apply same color balance to this also. Right? So I go to my image adjustments and then color balance. So that is it. Right. But most of the ones that you see too, they are black and white, which you can try them also. Right. You can choose to make this image a grayscale. Right. Right. And I do same to this. Okay. So which means I have to change the color of my background. Right. So I use my eyedropper to click, and then with my background selected. So this is double exposure effect. Yeah. So can I can I add what? Can I change? Yes, it depends on the kind of image that you are using. Hmm? Yes, because I know the tutorial that I gave you, they use the blend mode in it. Yes, it depends on the kind of image that you are using. It depends on the kind of image that you are using and your background, right? The person used the blend mode because of the background and the sky. Yes. So with this one, I'm going to create a new layer for that new document. So, all right. So I go for my image. I'll use this image. So I open this image. It's not a PNG. Okay, so let me crop the image out of the background. Right. So I'll select the subject. Okay. So I have my image selected. Right. I just make a duplicate of it. Right. Then I delete the original image. So I have this, right? Just a PNG. Let me change the background color. Okay. All right. So I have, oh, I have this PNG right here. Right. Now what I'm going to do is with this PNG, I have to duplicate it also. Right. So Control J, right? To have these two images in here. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with the one on top first. So I have to select this in the layers. Right. So after selecting this, I go to filter and then liquify. Okay. Right. So it will bring me to this point. Now with this, I will use the forward warp tool. Right. So, right. I'll cancel it. Okay. Service selected. I go to filter and then liquify. Right. So I'll be using the forward warp tool. Right. So I'm going to do this. Okay. Right. So I have this. So after doing this, I just click on OK, and it comes here. Now there are two of this same image here. So if I hide this one, I have the original image here. Right. Okay. So I'm going to work with this first. Now with this image, right, I'll create a layer mask with this image. Now creating the layer mask with this image, I want to hide everything. So what I'll do is I'll hold on the Alt key before I click on my layer mask, right? And everything is now hidden, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll go with my brush tool, right? And then this time I'm not going to use a normal brush. I'll use a dispersion brush. Right? So I come here for my brush options and then I search for dispersion brushes. Okay. Or you can use any stylish brush for that. So let me go in for the dispersion brushes. Right. Okay. So let me go in for the dispersion from here. Okay. So I have my dispersion brushes right here. Right. Okay. So I'm going to use this. Right. So doing this, right, I want to reveal the hidden part. So I'll use the white, right? I'll use the white color. And with my layer mask selected. Okay. So I'll reduce the size. Then the size too small. Okay. Okay. So once I move back, I just increase the size. This brush. Okay. So white background. Okay. Oh, okay. So let me maintain this background. Right. So once I'm done with this, right, using my dispersion brush to do this, I'm not done. I have to select the image. That is the second one, right? That is this one. Right? I have this selected. Then I create a layer mask. With this, I won't hold on any key. I just click to create the layer mask. And with this, I want to hide some parts. Right? So what I'll do is I'll use my black here. Then I'll go for the brush. That's the same dispersion brush. There is it for the dispersion effect. Hmm. So that is it. So with the two effects that we've done, that's the double exposure and then the dispersion. With all those ones, we use the layer mask. You have to take a very good note of the layer mask also. Bye. Enjoy. Oh, okay.